of course, my cat decides she needs attention and to meow right now. Hi everybody, I'm back with the map again, my map again. Until Hermione demands more attention, we're going to do some cool map goofing, as I am very coolly calling this series. Hi! Hi baby. I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, but Benjamin's joining now. This is fun. It's a whole family affair. Anyway, we're gonna call this new map goofin, cool map goofin. I don't know. You're gonna see it in the title when I decide, or if my friends tell me it's too lame. But if you haven't seen, I have a map for the book series. Also, hey, I'm Christina. I'm an author, a poet, a dog and a cat mom, a nerd, and all the other things. Anyway, just like Google me, I guess. And I have had some suggestions from friends and other readers already of what countries, what parts of this world we're going to discover. So let's get started now. Okay, so first of all, before we get really into this, I'm going to have to go briefly over a little bit of history of Craigie. In summation, if you just kind of want to skip past this, imagine a fantasy version of Scotland, because that's not been done before, during their War of Independence. I am Scottish, so I have a lot of Scottish heritage, and so I kind of really wanted to pay ode to that. A lot of my ancestors actually were directly involved with the Wallace clan, or part of the Wallace clan that led the rebellion and the fight for freedom, so I really wanted to talk about that in some aspect. And so Craigie was born in my brain. Imagine Scotland with more pagans in it, with the climate of northern, what's the country called? Canada. The place I might be moving to, just kidding. Of northern Canada with all that ice, all that snow, all those mountains, very nomadic culture kind of thing with Craigie. Craigie has always had a rebellious heart since before the Great Civil War that they started, about like 400-ish years before the Psalms of Fire and Fury book series started. They've always believed in lush independence, freedom, no borders, no tyranny, no monarchy. They've been against it from the beginning. When the continent was conquered over 700 years ago, before the book series started, they were also very much against this happening. They were very much pro border free, citizenship free, everybody's free to do what they want, live how they want, kind of people. And so they've been against this crap from the beginning. Something that is occurring currently and has been occurring for hundreds of years in the Six Kingdoms of Victorious is this persecution of any religion that is not the one true, the Puritan religion, the worship of this one deity called the one true God, him. I definitely took a lot of liberty with my religious trauma from the Christian Catholic Church and threw it in there. The church is intertwined directly with the throne, with the state, and they run concurrently together. Decisions are not made without God's input, without the church's input, and a little bit of a spoiler, not really that much of a spoiler, it happens very quickly in the first book, is the head of the church, Father Figgins, everybody's booing right now who's read this book already, he actually becomes the hand of the king. So literally the church is the right hand of the king now. And it is illegal to worship any other deity besides the one true, besides him, besides God, besides following the Puritan religion. Craigie, being who Craigie is, literally said, fuck y'all, we do what we want, and they still worship in their own aspects, and in more of a secretive, not really truly in your face way, worship the Vahar. I'll get into that later, but it's a very magical group of gods who created humanity and the earth because they wanted a race of people to worship them and to look after. And the Vahar, people who worship the Vahar have been often seen in the past when it was legal as heathens, as all these horrible terms that the church has used to describe pagans in our real world. And there's a belief that they were actually devil worshippers and did a lot of harm, a lot of human sacrifices, which is true, in order to get these magical powers from the devil himself. And so there's a lot of fear of Craigie because they still openly but not openly worship, even though it's illegal. The church, the state as a whole, when I say the state, I mean the throne, the king, they kind of let Craigie do what they want because they really don't give a crap. They're just kind of like, if you do what you want, the rules don't apply to you because we don't care enough about you because you keep losing every time you try to rise up against us. And as long as you just keep to your own crap, we'll keep to ours, and you guys won't trade with anybody. You really don't. You're just your own thing up there that we just happen to have to deal with, right? So the church is like that. The state treats them like that. And so they openly do worship the Vahar in some aspects. There's a lot of magical abilities, potentially, that they do have that is part of legends that worshippers of the Vahar have had. Part of the religion, they do believe in a veil between worlds, so what we would consider the veil that thins on the Day of the Dead, around Samhain, and that you can call on spirits, call upon deities through shamanism and seer abilities, all of which is technically illegal. And so circling that all back to talking about the Forest of Whispers and the Wake. The Forest of Whispers gets its name because it's a forest, literally, full of whispers, meaning there's belief that this forest is filled with spirits, ghosts, manifestations of the Vahar and other deities, creatures of unnatural abilities, such as fae, fairies, not like the kind that have wings and that are 500 years old that you want to screw, but like the little dudes from like legends and lores. And that this forest is full of these things, and people who travel through it have often come out insane, crazy, hearing voices forever and ever because the whispers have driven them insane. There are also believed to be beasts that live in there that are mimics, so they will mimic back your family's voices, kind of basically anything supernatural where everybody's like, in Appalachia, don't go in the woods and don't look in the woods. People believe are in the Forest of Whispers and can kill you or work with you, as well as the ghosts can haunt you from your past or your present, or they can guide you. Within the Forest of Whispers, there is a city, a little village, and it looks like it's blanked out with the forest cut down in it, and it's not. It's actually built into the trees and into the woods and into the forest completely. It's called Thindell. Thindell does come into the series in book 2, so I don't want to add too many spoilers, but Thindell is a very magical, ancient village where a lot of people from Craigie go for advice, for counsel advice to get away, and a lot of individuals travel through the Forest of Whispers to Thindell who are very much in their worship to retire and potentially just live out their last days, either making it to Thindell and becoming a part of the Forest of Whispers, or to just become one with their world again. Thindell is where the king's world goes to die and magic comes to be reborn again. And even though magic may or may not exist and may or may not have ever existed, it does exist. The church has very much tried to erase that as much as possible and made it out to be the true fallacies to look at, right? Because you got to misdirect. Thindell, again, comes into book 2 a lot, and there's a lot there that I don't want to get into now because I would love for you guys to be able to read that and understand Thindell more. But think of it as an old, ancient, to draw inspiration from the real world, Viking pagan-esque village, built into the trees, built around the trees, and is one with nature. Okay, so the Wake, I think I know when I'm going to introduce this in the book series, so I'm going to keep it a little vague-ish, just because I don't know exactly what I want to be a spoiler or not. But the Wake is a giant cliff that, and hopefully there's another picture of the map on the screen right now for you. Fingers crossed that Googling that and figuring it out worked. The Wake is a giant seaside cliff in the ice-cold tundra area of northeastern Craigie, and it is full of caves that are built into the side of the cliff. Whether those caves are man-made, God-made, nature-made, animal-made, nobody truly knows. Everybody has their different beliefs. The cliffs go up very, very high, and the caves do as well. So there's a lot of thin air that people do experience, breathing problems, hallucinations, things like that because of the thin air. But spiritually speaking, a lot of shamans, seers, etc. do go to the Wake to awaken. right? They go there to have visions, to see things, to, when you combine psychedelics and thin air, you're gonna have a real good trip, okay? Not that I know that in real life, I'm just guessing, I don't do that stuff, government. But people go there to do a lot of waking up, for spiritual purposes, for escape, for understanding their path. It was very, very popular back in the day before this colonization happened, for a lot more people to make the trek from the south to the north through the mountain pass. That is a whole other discussion of what the freaking mountains and the mountain pass and the unclaimed lands are, which is going to be another fun discussion to have. It was actually seen as a very spiritual journey to travel from the south to the north through the mountain pass, make it to the wake and back, to be able to ascend fully spiritually. A part of the wake also with it is, if you look close enough on the map, you'll see like the mountains kind of end, like, and I'm just like looking at the map right now. The mountains kind of end where you can walk from the unclaimed lands through to the wake and through Craigie. And so it is also seen as where the magic from the unclaimed lands leaks into the world that we know. And so again, that's why a lot of people still believe there's a lot of this magical essence around the Forest of Whispers, Thindell, especially the wake. Because this magic of the unclaimed lands has not been claimed by man, conqueror, or anything, and it is still a free country, or free slab of land. It's still full of magic from this place that is unconquerable, cannot be conquered, because the mountains are in some spots about 200-ish miles wide and very tall, very dangerous, and full of things we can talk about in another video. And so yeah, the wake will be introduced. I'm thinking book 3 is when I'm going to introduce it. I'm actually going to start working on book 3 once I finish line editing a little bit of book 2. And so I'm really excited for you guys to meet more of this more magical part of the world, the 6 kingdoms of Victorious, and to learn more about these things that have been made illegal and repressed and persecuted and hidden, but still looms underneath the surface, right? And I'm really excited for that. I think it's really cool. So thank you to my friend Tangy/Alicia for asking me to talk about these 2 places specifically. They were really excited to hear about them specifically. So I love that was the first place I was called. That was the places where I'm like, I can't really truly get into a lot of this because there's so many secrets surrounding it. But we can try. So I don't know how to do outros because I'm used to TikToks where like it just cuts me off mid-sentence. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm done. So yeah, let me know what other places you want to visit or learn more about. Maybe there's something I hinted at that you want to know more about. Just let me know what you want to learn more about regarding the 6 kingdoms of Victorious, any places you want to visit, any cities, villages, towns, parts of it, or history you want to learn about that maybe I hinted on, because I made up 700 years of history, an entire planet of lore and legends and history and places, and would love to autistic ADHD info dump all of it on everybody. But yeah, and also the maps are on my website if you want to look at them closer too. That's in my do I have to like censor the schmink and schmile like we have to do on other social medias? Anyway, there's going to be like the thank you screen that pops up anytime now. I'm probably going to try to fade into it while I keep rambling, and then I'm gradually going to make the music louder because I might have music when I did my first video. Thanks to CapCut sponsoring. I'm just kidding. Okay, the music should be playing over me now. Alright, bye!